Hi, Patrick here. Have Cheetah Will View, and welcome to Dollar Tree Theater. So I tried doing this before and I messed up, so I have to come back and redo this one. But it's worth it. Definitely worth it. So Dollar Tree Theater, as you may know, is a ongoing series where we watch and review movies that we get either for under $1.25. It doesn't matter where you get it from, as far as I'm concerned. Get them at the Dollar Tree, get them at the library. You can get them for gifts. Anything that you don't have to pay more than $1.25 for is Dollar Tree Theater. And the movie that we'll be talking about today, I only got for a dime, so it definitely fits. And really, what I really like about this format too is it allows me to go back to review bigger films that came out that I normally don't review. I'm not a big film reviewer as far as studio releases go. If you see a lot of the stuff I review, it's stuff sort of obscure, under the radar, what have you. Old movies that haven't been talked about very much. But Dollar Tree Theater allows me to go back and talk about some of the bigger budget films that I've seen, like movies like The Rookie and Day After Tomorrow, what have you. So the movie that we're going to be talking about today is one of my absolute favorite films. I was so happy to find this for a dime over at the library, and I knew I'd be talking about it, and you guys made it happen because you guys picked it. You guys picked the movies I select, and I knew this was gonna win. As soon as I put it down, I said, "This is the winner. This is the one that we'll be talking about for sure." And you didn't disappoint me, and that is 2010's The Sorcerer's Apprentice, starring Nicolas Cage, Jay Baruchel, Teresa Palmer, Monica Bellucci, Alfred Molina, Alice Krige, and some other fine actors as well. All right, so I guess we should get into this movie. Uh, The Sorcerer's Apprentice came out in 2010, and it tells the story about Balthazar Blake. He's a master magician who is one of three apprentices to Merlin. Merlin from the King Arthur. He has three apprentices, and when Merlin and Morgan Le Fay have a final battle in Britain in AD 740, we find out that one of the three apprentices, Horvath, has betrayed Merlin in the name of love. He has fallen in love with Veronica, who's played by Monica Bellucci, and who Veronica in turn has fallen in love with Balthazar. So there's a love triangle that leads to a betrayal and the death of Merlin. But Merlin also tells Balthazar that there's what they call a prime millennium, and so they are tasked with finding that prime millennium. Uh, during the fight, Veronica takes on Morgana and absorbs her essence in her body, and Balthazar puts them in a grimhold to make sure that they don't die, because eventually Veronica would not be able to hold Morgana without dying. So putting her in a grimhold until he can find the prime millennium is the only way to save his love's life. So the next 1,000 years, he is looking for the prime millennium, and he has been battling evil sorcerers all through that time period and putting them in the grimhold, the worst of the worst, and that includes Horvath. So we now come to the year 2000, and we meet 10-year-old Dave, who has a big crush on Becky Barnes. And while they're on a field trip, he writes a little note to her that she doesn't get to. She answers, but he doesn't get to see it because it goes off in the wind. So while chasing that note down, he stumbles across a strange shop, and he enters it, and lo and behold, Balthazar is running it, and he discovers the prime millennium. Discovers that Dave is the prime millennium. He has a way of testing it, and when he's tested, he passes, and so his 1,000-year search is over. So now all he's got to do is just keep Dave safe. Of course, Horvath is also he's caught in the grimhold, but due to no fault of Dave's, he accidentally releases Horvath, and that causes a terrific fight between Balthazar and Horvath. That causes causes the shop to be destroyed pretty much, or does it? As Dave runs outside and his teacher goes inside the shop, he tries to tell her not to go in there because there's a fire going on, and the shop is destroyed. But of course, once she puts her head in there and sees that it's fine, then Dave becomes he basically becomes a laughing stock, and it leads to his social anxiety. He's not very good around people, but he's a really good student, and we meet up with him 10 years later, and he's going to school at NYU in the physics department, and he's brilliant, but he's not very sociable. Not sociable, but he's awkward, socially awkward. Um, of course, during the battle in the magic shop, um, Balthazar put him and Horvath into a spell. It caused them to go inside the urn that they're trapped in for 10 years. 10 years. They won't be released out for 10 years. So the 10 years comes out, and Horvath actually emerges first. And he makes a serious run of killing Balthazar, which he barely escapes. This in turn sets a running magical battle between Horvath, who wants to Grimhold, and Balthazar, who wants to keep the Grimhold and also take Dave underneath his wing as his apprentice. He has to tell Dave who he is and what's he about, and Dave he instinctively knows that what Balthazar is saying is true, um, and so he becomes his apprentice, and those two take on Horvath and a host of different bad guys, all trying to stop the Rising, which would resurrect Morgana and allow her to raise all the dead sorcerers in the past, and then that would end the world as we know it. So Balthazar and Dave have to stop that, and Dave is just barely scratching the surface of his powers. Uh, so of course this leads to very many different clashes, and to the end of the movie, where they have the final fight. Balthazar looks to be killed. Um, Veronica and Morgana have been released, but Morgana stands strong, and it looks pretty bad until Dave truly understands who he is, what he can do, and adds science to his magic, which leads to a really terrific final fight. All right, now I would like to actually get deeper into this movie a little bit, but but I don't have that much time on this recording, so I'm gonna have to step it up a little bit. This is a terrific movie. This is definitely one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies for sure. This is during his action and adventure phase. He did Con Air, The Rock, Ghost Rider. He also had done the two National Treasure movies. In fact, this is the third movie that he did with director John Turtlebaum, who directed him in the National Treasure movies. So this period of time for Nicolas Cage was probably his most productive, and he was everywhere and making really fun action movies. This movie is really good. And what's really sucks about it is the budget that the budget was actually hurt the movie. It's listed as $150 million. Back there, 2010 to now, that'd be like $200 million, which means it would have the same budget as a Marvel movie. So when you have that, and then you only return $220 million of that back at the box office, yeah, you can see that this movie had a hard time getting its money back, and it actually didn't. But in its defense, this movie also did not have what Marvel movies have, and that is the Chinese market, which makes a lot of movies successful because of that market. This did not. This is all without the Chinese market. You got to think, if you would have thrown this in there, you would have got another 100 million out of it, which would have made this movie profitable. So it didn't. It wasn't, and there was no sequel. Though this movie can be seen as a standalone film, or I could see as there was room for a sequel. Um, I loved, like I said, I loved this movie. I thought the acting was on point. Nicolas Cage was really really good. Jay Baruchel is, he's always good as the everyman who's a little bit befuddled by his circumstances. He's always plays that part, but he does it really really well. His Dave is a really nice guy and he wants to do the right thing. Of course, Teresa Palmer. Some of you might remember her from I Am Number Four, another interesting action film that she was excellent in. She's actually a very good actress. One of my favorites too. She's from Australia. She's done a lot of fine films, and she was really good in this as well. Of course, Alfred Molina played Horvath, and Alfred Molina can do no wrong in my book. He's definitely an actor that when you see his name attached to a movie, you're going to go watch it. You're going to go you want to see what it is. He's just that kind of an actor. He's in that level of acting that yeah, Alfred Molina's in it. Count me in. Of course, this movie also does have one thing that I've commented before many, many times. And unfortunately for this movie, it happens again. And that is the misuse, underuse of Monica Bellucci. I truly, for the love of heaven, I can't understand it, how American directors cannot figure out a way to use her. She's totally misused, underused in this movie. She's in it for maybe all in for screen time, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Why? You could have grabbed an extra from the casting and put her in the role, and you would have had the same amount of impact. And it sucks because Monica Bellucci is such a good actress, and she's so beautiful, and you really want her to get really want to get her established. It's just never really happened for her here, and I can't for the life of heaven tell you why, but it's a constant. It's a constant. It's not just an aberration. It's not like just a hiccup. It's every film that she's done, including the Matrix movies, Shoot 'Em Up. I mean, okay, she was in that movie for a little bit, but only the movies that she does over in Europe are the ones that have any impact. But over here, really, really hard for her to gain any traction at all with her career, and it's frustrating to watch because she's so good. I like the action in this movie. The action is fast and furious. It never stops. I dare say, honestly, I would actually match up the Sorcerer's Apprentice with the first Doctor Strange movie, as far as the storytelling goes, as far as the action and the pacing. In fact, I would dare say it's a little bit better than the first Doctor Strange movie. I thought this was a lot of fun, and I don't know. It was more impactful. I know a lot of people might not disagree with that, but I'm just calling it as it is. I think this movie was criminally underrated. And again, I do think that, if it got released now, if this same movie got released today, it would be a hit. I mean, because it would make the money back. It would do very well internationally as well. This is interesting too. What I was thinking about too is that this is the type of movie that would actually do really well for Disney Plus. They did that for National Treasure, and I don't know how that turned out, but I haven't heard anything bad about it. I will say this too. I mean, as far as getting this movie goes, you should be able to pick this up anywhere at any time. This is a Disney movie. And I wanted to comment real quick, too, about Disney coming back with movies. Looks like they're going to be doing physical releases again really soon. So if you missed out on The Sorcerer's Apprentice, chances are we're going to probably get a re-release, I would think. I think this is a movie that screams out for 4K. That needs to be on 4K. It screams with all the special effects in it and the magical battles. This movie would absolutely look great in a 4K format. And Disney is going to be releasing, like I said, going to be releasing more physical media again. I think by the time we get to Black Friday 2023, I think Disney will be rolling out a lot of their Disney Plus series, Star Wars and what have you, for the home market. And I do see the Sorcerer's Apprentice being picked up for a 4K release. And who knows, maybe even more. All right, so that's Dollar Tree Theater. I hope you enjoyed the review. I really like this movie. Highly recommend it. One of my favorites. And yeah, and next week, the winner for the new Dollar Tree Theater after this one. It only took 3 weeks for you guys to pick it, but you did pick it and it did win, and that is Jennifer, directed by Dario Argento. So we will be looking at this week. All right. We'll have a new round of challengers here in a minute. As soon as I post this, I will write down the new challengers for Dollar Tree and let you guys vote on that. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, you like what you see, like what you hear, please hit the sub button. Hit the notification bell, let you know whenever I drop something new. And more importantly, drop a comment. I'd like to hear you guys' feedback on the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Yeah, I'd like to see what you guys have to say. I really like this. And there's a lot of special features on here as well, including the making of, magic in the city, all sorts of fun special features here as well. So this is a good time, and for a dime, you can't go wrong. All right, that's it for here. Me and the Cheetah, we are out, and we'll see you for the next one. Peace.